Moving on to item 14.3, the update on the Picton Town Centre Transport Master Plan, with the first speaker being Sam Davies, but I'll just ask for an executive summary to be read out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The purpose of this report is to provide an update on the Picton Town Centre Transport Master Plan, following further traffic modelling and community consultation. In early 2022, Council resolved to test the findings of the Picton Town Centre Transport Plan, particularly in regards to the impact of COVID on traffic volumes and possible changes to development forecasts. Further work was undertaken and has included stakeholder engagement, new traffic modelling of the upgrade models. This modelling reaffirms that Picton Town Centre will continue to come under increasing traffic congestion pressure in future years, leading to poor road safety, pedestrian connectivity, and negative amenity outcomes. This is also consistent with previous work undertaken in 2018 and numerous studies undertaken before that. The report notes the Picton Bypass will resolve these congestion issues in an unrivalled manner compared to any of the other modelled scenarios. However, if the Picton Bypass is not implemented very soon, additional measures will be required to allow for a number of key intersections, including the Menangle Street and Prince Street, to continue to function safely. And this suggests that this could occur from as early as 2031. Irrespective of the timing of the bypass, this recent modelling also suggests that the intersection of Argyle Street with Barker's Lodge Road will reach poor levels of service prior to 2036. The modelling also identifies that the Prince Street and Menangle Street intersection will perform satisfactorily at a satisfactory level, in 2026. Given the recommendation is to place a significant upgrade on hold, being the intersection of the traffic lights at the intersection of Prince Street and Menangle Street, Council does need to continue to model the traffic volumes within Picton on a case-by-case basis to ensure that the intersection performance are operating in terms of what the modelling has suggested. So as such, the recommendation is for the plan to be formally reviewed in 2026, as if the Picton Bypass is not commenced by this time. The current modelling indicates that work will need to recommence on the planned intersection upgrades prior to their failure. Thank you.
First speaker on this item is Sam Davis speaking against. Sam, all yours.
Evening, Mayor, Chair as he returns, councillors, staff and also residents. I'm speaking on behalf of STOP, which is the Sustainable Traffic Options for Picton. You probably see the signs as you come into Picton from Malden direction all the time. There are some issues with that executive summary amongst other comments that have been made publicly. So a report was commissioned at great cost in response to Resolution 22/2022 at the February 2022 Council meeting. This resolution is particularly verbose, which was against the advice of STOP at the time, with many items never addressed. Nevertheless, much money was spent and we do have a fresh traffic report by Stantec. This report corrects, updates and supersedes all previous reports and states as much. I encourage councillors to follow the report advice, which strangely contradicts the advice to council we've just heard in the executive summary and further in the agenda and posted by council online. Council Facebook on 14th of November states, the report recommends a formal review in 2026 to determine whether to proceed with the traffic lights if the Picton Bypass is not yet underway. This is completely false. Not true. I'd be interested to know who wrote this. That's certainly not the conclusion of the report, of the Stantec report that you'll find in the attachments. I'll read the main, you can go to page 290 to read the conclusions yourself, but I'll read out the main ones. The do nothing scenario, sorry, it's a bit small here in my eyesight, it's terrible. The do nothing scenario indicates that in 2026, all assessed intersections in the study will operate satisfactorily in all modelled peaks and hours, with the exception of Argyle Street, Barker's Lodge Road. In 2036, several intersections within the town centre operate unsatisfactorily in one or more peak hours, including Argyle Street, Prince Street and Menangle Street, Prince Street. So the Prince Street intersections, and particularly the the Menangle Street one where the lights were intended, and significant increases in travel time observed on Prince Street and Buttrick. So that's 2036, not 2026, 2036 is the conclusion. To do nothing with Picton Bypass scenario, and I can read that, it says everything's fine. If the Picton Bypass is in by 2036, we don't have a problem. The only problem we have is Argyle Street and the Barkers Lodge Road and Argyle Street intersection. That's the report. That's what the report is saying. And it does not reflect what's in that executive summary or what's been reported by council officers online. The report is clear. Without the bypass, problems may begin in 2036, not 2026, with the exception of Barkers Lodge Road and Argyle Street intersections. The report is clear. Barkers Lodge Road is a problem. It's the problem. This is obvious to everyone. We don't need more reports to show that. I drove through there today on the way back from my mum's from the Oaks. Everybody knows Barkers Lodge Road and Argyle Street is not only a problem in terms of delays, it's a safety problem for people turning right. And that's where the effort should go. The bypass does solve it all. And even if it doesn't, no issues and no further money needs to be spent on Prince Street, in particular the traffic lights, until 2036. That is what this report's saying. $800,000 has already blown on planning the lights. That was up to that February 2022 meeting, and at least a further 80,000 on the consultation and the report that we're looking at now. I suspect that report was a lot more than 40,000, given it's 100 odd pages. Getting up towards $1 million has been spent on this traffic lights at Prince Street nonsense. Enough is enough. So what we want to do, and there's recommendations in the agenda, obviously, for you guys next week to pass or not pass. We want to change some of those, and I have sent a document already, but I'll just quickly run through, and I know that all the councillors have got a copy of this already. So basically what we're saying is replace recommendation 2 with Barkers Lodge Road and Argyle Street intersection requires attention immediately, with a solution implemented in 2026. Get rid of all this nonsense about, maybe we need to build the traffic lights in 2026 and spend more money and go back over what we've already gone through. Replace recommendation 4 with the report makes it clear that the Picton Bypass solves all traffic problems for Picton. Communicate the report findings, not the executive summary, the report findings to the New South Wales Premier, Minister of Roads, etc., to reconfirm council's obvious support for the Picton Bypass. Replace recommendation 5, which I think might have actually been, we're sort of saying swap 2 and 5. Beforehand, 2 and 5 were basically saying, look at Prince Street again.
Sam, I might just ask you to
defer any upgrade work.
Sorry, Sam. I might just ask you to wrap up now. Just we're out of time.
Will do. Only got 2 sentences. Yep. Defer any upgrade work to intersections within the Picton Town Centre, excluding Barkers Lodge Road and Argyle Street intersection, and ensure this decision is formally reviewed in 2036, not 2026, 2036, if the Picton Bypass is not commenced. And finally, maybe in 2031. Consider allocating some budget to start monitoring and modelling the Picton Town Centre traffic, given that, assuming that we don't have progress on the bypass. So thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Sam. Do we have a response?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Cooper, would you like to address the question, particularly regarding the 2026 timeframe?
Thank you, Mr. CEO. So just by way of summary, 2026 is a key milestone in that it's the next date the modelling has forecasted. Our review at this point will provide the direct comparison of forecast versus actual traffic volumes. So if the current forecasting is right, this test will likely recommend that no action is required in the immediate term, but will help firm up the forecasting beyond 2031. So regular testing is important to keep the Picton Town Centre traffic challenges on the radar, not only at the local, but equally the state and federal level, to help inform the development plans and budgets in the short to medium term, hence the recommendation.
Thank you.